A number one mistake I see people do on their off season. Alright, this one might hurt some feelings. I'm calling you out today and I'm telling you my top 5 mistakes that I see people make during a bodybuilding off season. Let's get into it. Coming in at number 5 is people that use PEDs not coming off a cycle. So they'll do their whole prep, they'll compete at the show, and then they just won't come off. And this is usually for a few reasons. Number 1, they think they can't train without it. Number 2, they don't like that they don't get as good of a pump and they're just kind of addicted to that. But also they just won't want to feel deflated and feel small, which is totally fine. However, there needs to be a health phase after a competition prep so that your body can recover. This is so important, and I really don't like when people make this mistake because they really are putting their health at risk. Health is number 1, and if you're not healthy, you can't compete anyways. So definitely get off cycle. For the natural athletes out there, this could mean cycling off caffeine even. Cycling off creatine, even though you don't really need to do that. Cycling off L-carnitine and other fat-burning supplements that you would take throughout a prep. So whether you're enhanced or natural, this is a time, off-season is a time to focus on health, okay? Get your blood work done, go see a doctor for tests if you have to, and if your coach is not asking for these things, that's a red flag. Coming in at number 4, we have not training heavy enough. And this is a big problem season because this is when we have a surplus of food so that we can grow and build more muscle and shape our bodies better for the division that we're competing in. Okay, so this is very important. I've seen people not train, and it has to do with number 5 because they came off a cycle and they don't want to train anymore. Or you see people in the gym and they're like, well, I'm just going to let my body recover and I'm just going to get a pump. It's like, no, you're supposed to be training very heavy on off season, training hard, high intensity, high volume, all the good stuff so that you can grow and be different next time you're on stage. This is why I usually liked doing powerlifting during my past off seasons because it forced me to lift heavy, and I usually did see some really good muscle growth as well because I was also doing a lot of accessory work with the main lifts. So lifting heavy and lifting in general, very important. Don't make that mistake on your next off season. Coming in at number 3, I have been guilty of this in the past. Not taking rest days. You need to rest during the off season so that your body can grow, that your body can shape, that your body can fit the division that you're going to be competing in. So for example, I've seen people still have a 6-day split, a 7-day split, when really 4 to 5 days in the off season, hitting all the muscle groups you need to hit, and if you're hitting them hard enough, you will need those full rest days. Usually I tell people you should still get steps on the rest days. Steps are obviously not fatiguing at all and good for your health in general. So you can still get your steps, but there should be multiple days that you're taking that are rest days, not weight training. This is a mistake that I see all the time. People are addicted to the gym. They're like, is the gym going to miss me on a rest day? Maybe it will, but your body needs that recovery time to make sure that you make changes for your next show. Coming in at number 2, I have also been guilty of this, and it is not tracking macros or not following a meal plan, or at least at the bare minimum, not tracking protein on your off season. If you are well prepared on your off season and you are tracking your food and you are hitting your goals, you will set yourself up for a much more successful prep. In the past, I was very black and white. So if I wasn't on prep, I wasn't tracking. And it has consistently put me behind to the point where I'm 10 years into my competing journey now and still don't have a pro card. Probably because I should have taken some of those off seasons earlier on more seriously in terms of the food side of things. So now I am tracking, I'm hitting my protein, hitting my carbs. There are, of course, still off-plan meals, but these meals aren't like a week-long cheat week. They are planned, and then it's back to my normal plan as usual. So that is very important. Don't make the same mistake as me and keep on your meal plan, keep tracking your macros, and have a successful off season so that you're set up super, super well for your next prep. And finally, coming in at number one, a number one mistake I see people do on their off season is not doing any cardio. And I've heard people say anything from, it's going to make me lose muscle in the off season. Fake news. Fake news. Because if you're eating enough in the off season, especially if you're eating enough protein because you're tracking everything, you'll have a more chance of not losing muscle compared to doing cardio during prep. So cardio in the off season is very, very important for your health, for your appetite, to keep your appetite high, and cardiovascular health, and in general, good to move your body and will also help you hit a step count goal. So it is a win-win-win. It's very important to keep in. It can be lowered and it should be reduced compared to what you were doing on a prep, but it should never be completely cut out. Okay, so that is the number one mistake I see. Those were my top 5 mistakes I see people do in a bodybuilding off season. And please don't make those same mistakes. Comment below if I forgot any, because I'm sure I did, or tell me a mistake you've made in the past that made your next prep harder. Like this video and subscribe to my channel. There's going to be a lot more coming out. We'll chat soon.